What are we doing here? Oh, we're filming. Oh, jeez. All right, so I almost just burned my house down. I almost started a fire on my stove. I left the burner on, and the coffee I was making evaporated, and the grounds inside started to catch fire. Like blue smoke was shooting up. Malt liquor. Yeah, so I was, obviously that was coffee from this morning. So it's been on, my stove has been on um, all morning long, just, boiling that coffee away. See, the I want like so none of my smoke alarms have batteries in them right now because they keep going off in the middle of the night. I jump up and I pull the battery out, and then I don't put a battery back in. So I think someone left a comment about 10-year batteries, 10-year smoke alarms. I'm gonna Google that because that to me sounds like there's a smoke alarm that you could put on your wall and the battery is good for 10 years. That's what I imagine. Oh boy, Keela's unhappy. So I'm snowed in, can't make it to work, which oddly enough start the longer that I don't go to work, because I've been missing a lot of work, the more my anxiety, like irrational anxiety, forms around that. And then, whew, breathe. Oh, and then so I open up my front door to see if Akila could go out and pee, and there's urine on my door and on my doorstep, and doggy prints coming from my next door neighbor's house up to my door. He's a neighbor that was parking in front of my house for years. Keela, honey, that's enough, baby. You're okay. Probably has to poop. I shoveled a path out into the backyard, which kicked my ass. I'm so out of shape. Oh boy. Ridiculous. See, I mean, I had that thing in my mind about smoke detectors because that neighbor's house burning down, and it was a couple years ago that neighbor's house burned down. Had it in my mind, I didn't do anything about it. You're always like your brain, like I know your brain like comes up with a lot of stuff, but a lot of times when something goes wrong, I could think to a recent moment where my brain was kind of like going, maybe you should do something about that. The classic example I always think of was like there was a gate that in my old house, it had like a nail coming out of it. And every time I saw that nail, it was in good too. I tried to pry it out with my fingers. Every time I saw it, I'm like, I should go get the hammer, come back in, and take care of this nail. And I didn't do anything about it, and I was real poor back then. And I walked by that nail with my best and only rain jacket, and ripped my rain jacket, like in a way that kind of wrecked my rain jacket. Like I had to use duct tape, a never-ending supply of replacing a duct tape patch on that for a real long time until I could afford another rain jacket. Oh man, I used to be so poor, so fucking poor. I remember tons of time where I couldn't afford food. I think I've made videos about that before. I used to have potluck parties at my house, and people go to take their food back, and I'm like, hey man, that was part of well, I had you over for a party, is I wanted you to leave some of your delicious food here, so I can eat what you prepared later this week for lunch or something like that. That's part of the fun. And some people like would leave all their food. Some people say like, oh, well, I'll leave you a portion because I was planning on this for lunch too. And other people would say like, fuck you, I'm going to take this pasta home and eat it for dinner later. And I'm like, fuck me, okay, fuck you. I just wouldn't invite them back. And I realize I surprised that on a lot of people, but really, I mean, if I bring, like, I've seen people do this too before. If you bring beer and stuff or wine or anything over to someone's house, you don't take whatever beer is left over at the end of the night. You don't take that beer home. And I guess you guys probably won't need this beer later. Oh boy, people. Whew, boy, man. God, I played a bunch more RimWorld. I gotta play it on easy, and I gotta play it on save. Cause like that game, it's a disaster simulator. Like things sometimes go right. Maybe like a 100 times going right is like picking 100 cabbages, right? And then you have like 5 animals come by your base, or one person show up, or a lightning strike hit a wall, and you just then watch the same amount of number of things go wrong, except it's so much worse. Like 40 things going wrong in your base is so much worse than getting 40 cabbages, because basically everyone dies. I got down to my last guy in the base. He couldn't self-medicate. So there were no doctors, and for some reason his doctor skill was so low that he wouldn't even try to help himself. And he passes out, so he's going to die like in 10 minutes. And this gives you this mysterious stranger that pops up. But this guy that passed out on the bed, he had an animal they were bonded. It was a donkey. So that dropped the donkey's state of mind, dropped below sanity. So this mysterious stranger comes in to help this guy, and I'm like, okay, good. So I start to scroll out to see what problems and things could be taken care of with the priorities, and I get an alarm bell, and I zoom back in, and this donkey is killing this guy, this mysterious stranger, and then the donkey runs off, and then so the guy that he saved dies, and then the mysterious stranger dies, and then the only thing that's left at this base now is a crazy donkey. So you're just done, because I play on like permadeath or whatever. There's no save points, so I guess that makes me the jackass. There's lots of people going sledding. That's so good. I like how they're all going. There's like a park right there, but they're all going to the street. Like, well, we better go sled in the street. What could go wrong?